Welcome back to Derry Public Radio. Reporting from the basement of the Derry Civic Center, this is CM Alexander with the news. In misadventure news, authorities are urging residents to refrain from participating in recreational trust-building exercises with their spouses after an incident at a lakeside cabin left one person in a bit of a bind. Officials declined further comment, citing the ongoing investigation. Anyone missing a wedding ring or a sense of security is encouraged to contact the sheriff's office. You are listening to Derry Public Radio. This is Derry Public Radio. Welcome back to Derry Public Radio, a bi-weekly Stephen King Book Club podcast. I'm one of your hosts, CM Alexander, alongside Joshua Kahn.
Hey, everybody.
And Eve Gatto.
Hey, constant readers.
Today, we are doing it. We are so relieved after this. We are finishing Gerald's Game by covering the Netflix... Wait, was it a Netflix movie or was it just out on Netflix?
I believe... I don't know if they produced it or if they just had distribution.
Yeah, it was straight to Netflix, though.
Yeah.
Yes. The movie Gerald's Game.
Directed by our boy,
Mike
right?
Flanagan, yeah.
And a Patreon selection from Christine Ward. Thank you one more time, Christine.
Yeah, thank you. And Josh is leading our discussion.
Oh, wow.
Spoilers, by the way, which I mean...
As fun a watch as it was a read, right?
That's a loaded phrase. Because yes and no.
Yeah, a little bit.
It hurt to watch it just as much as it hurt to read it. One was not more or less effective than the other. So it's like I was punished 3 times. 3 times.
I believe, not to, get ahead of ourselves, that this is not a rating, but I will say that halfway through the viewing of this movie, there was a scene ended and we all shifted uncomfortably in our seats, and I said out loud, I think this movie might be great.
Yes. This is a part about that point in the movie. I recall the first time I watched this movie thinking Flanagan's got this. Like I just thinking that it felt, I'd not read Gerald's Game at this time, but from just the energy, the detail, it felt
this is
rich.
Better than Dr. Sleep.
Oh, for sure.
1,000%.
It's a gem, listeners, if you haven't watched it.
But he still managed to tie in a reference to a movie in universe that he didn't have anything to do with.
I love that. And we got an All Things Served, the Beam
that
reference.
Was so good.
Which was cool.
I want to go ahead and just kind of jump into talking about the journey to the cabin, because we don't start there immediately. We get a very cool overhead shot of their bed and them packing. How did that set the tone?
My immediate thought was like, because it's not the bed we spend the movie in.
Right.
And I go, that's a really big bed. That's a bigger bed than I imagined in the book. Because how is she going to move that?
Right.
It's a different bed.
Yeah. It's their bed at home. But it's just a really slow build watching them pack. And the very last thing to go in the bag is the pair of handcuffs, which, as we'll soon find out, are a surprise.
Well, and she also lays out a very important piece of clothing on the bed, and we're going to see that scene repeated with another very important piece of clothing.
I'm so glad you
on.
called that out, because I missed it until you said something.
Yeah, we get the same overhead shot. It's her childhood bed, of course, which we'll get to. But yeah, she's laying out this sexy, I would call it classy.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's not really
it's classic.
Risque. It's lingerie, but yeah, if it's Jesse's style, and it's going to... How much Gerald likes it later, and then when we see the other scene like that, just makes me cringe every time I see the slip.
I immediately was like, well, that's much more conservative than in the book.
You're right.
Obviously,
Yeah.
they're not going to release a movie on Netflix where the main character is topless the entire time.
Carla
Cowards.
Gugino, go for it.
And I feel like the slip is absolutely very sexy, but fits the character of Jesse so well, where it is not like hot.
It's modest.
Lingerie.
She
it's
wants to feel sexy, which she says later on. Like, isn't this supposed to make me feel sexy? I feel silly. She picked something that made her feel sexy.
Yeah. It did make me think, however, I think they did a really good job dressing her.
Yeah.
But they had to have gone through some options. And I wanted to just like round robin maybe. What are some other things that she could have been wearing instead, you know? Because my immediate thought was oversized t-shirt that says bitch master on it.
I mean, the t-shirt and
Would've been
underwear
bitchin'.
look classic. Always sexy.
Definitely. And Carla Gugino?
I found the problem with having the slip is that we never got to note how urine covered the underwear were, as we find out over the course of the story.
Is that important to you, Josh?
To the plot.
Did you see the stained slip?
I need to know how urine-soaked Carla Gugino is.
Oh.
Joshua Kahn.
For the plot.
Huh.
To understand the plot.
Okay.
Because she drinks water, but what happens?
This is important. I'm not a weirdo.
CM's turn.
Josh does say this about every movie, though. Why isn't Indiana Jones peeing? How covered in pee is he? Anyway.
My algorithm's messed up.
I'm so sorry.
What the fuck turn could I possibly take with this conversation?
What do you wish she was wearing?
I'm not going to comment.
Fair.
All right, yeah, that's understandable.
I'm not here to kink shame. Like, I understand why that might be intriguing to you. It's just not for
For
me.
the plot, it's not intriguing to me.
I would
It's
never
important
kink shame. I am Josh shaming.
That is allowed here. The drive to the cabin gives us a lot of laying the groundwork because there is the hand on the thigh that she pushes away.
And kisses his hand, and it's so, it's so cringy.
awkward.
I feel so
Yeah.
bad.
It's very, but it gives you know everything
Yeah.
about how their intimacy has been from that moment alone.
Mm-hmm.
And as they're talking on the radio, you hear that there has been some break-ins at the local cemetery.
And it just turns it off. Like, as soon as you register it.
It literally, it did not register.
Oh.
I did not even, that did not.
CM and I must have heard it at the same time because we just turned to each other and looked and made eye
It's
contact
because
real
of
quick.
Castle Rock. We're doing Castle Rock on Patreon, and
The radio plays
important radio stuff. Important radio stuff.
That's the tagline for Derry Public
I
Radio.
was just about to say alternate title for our podcast.
They almost hit a stray dog in the middle of the road, which I thought was a great moment.
Listen, sometimes you got to pick the kind of man you want. Do you want a man who's going to honk at a stray dog in the road angrily? Or do you want a man who's going to yell at a family of raccoons to get out of the street so they don't get hit? Because that's what I picked in life. And I literally, when Gerald was honking at the dog, because immediately Jesse is showing concern, like, oh my gosh, I wonder if it's okay, and it has a collar, and maybe we can help it. And he's like, get out of the road, you damn dog. And I thought, ooh, I don't like that guy.
He has sex to get to.
It does double duty of, like, yeah, exactly what you were saying, of making you go, oh, Gerald's kind of a callous dick, and I don't like him very much. And also,
Then he takes his shirt off.
we'll get there. There was plenty of hot Gerald talk.
I have a lot to say about the underwear, though.
But it also,
God.
how urine soaked is it? How much urine?
Oh, no, I do have a thing about the underwear. That wasn't I accidentally shamed myself. Oh, no.
But it also establishes Prince and
Yeah.
makes you like Jessie more, because once they get to the cabin, the first thing she does is cut up some Wagyu steak.
It's from Kobe.
It's Kobe.
Beef.
Kobe
yeah.
beef, and cuts it up and goes out and
She
is
doesn't
like
know what it is.
just calling into the woods down the road,
Oh.
being like, come here, buddy.
Yeah.
Wait, though. Jesse is not unobservant, right? You'd all agree with this? How isolated does Gerald have her that he can buy Kobe beef and he knows what that is, and she would never even consider looking at the label on the steaks or assuming that this was like high quality meat.
Yeah.
I assumed it was like mansplaining thing. Like she's like, yeah, I know it's Kobe beef. I went grocery shopping, Gerald.
No, he arranged
He did all
everything.
that.
Right, that's right.
So just a woman like that married to a guy like that with that in their fridge, she would know what that was.
From the moment.
But I love that she feeds it to him.
What that does, though, is it lets us know that this is Gerald's game. I said the thing. I did the thing.
Woo, take a shot.
Because it is Gerald who is, when she opens the fridge, sees it's full of things. He says, yeah, I ordered supplies. I had the landscaper come and mow. They are up at this cabin weeks before the people who summer here usually come up. And he has planned a full weekend getaway. It is a trap that has been set for her. Everything that happens, sort of, until he dies is by his design. And it's deadly. I love it. She feeds Prince. She names him, which is adorable. Calls him a prince. And gets inside.
Oh, but Gerald says something very ominous. Delicious foreshadowing, truly, in every sense of the word.
It's probably going to be the best meal he ever has.
Yeah, because she's like, oh, I'm so sorry. And he's like, yeah, it's okay.
And as he pulls her into the house, he pulls her just straight past the open door. It's
insane.
I get it in the book. The book made it very clear that sometimes the door swells and it doesn't latch all the way. You might think it is until it pops open. This is brazen.
This is kind of weird, but it does make her seem very meek because in the car ride and stuff, she's acting like my question once they get to the bedroom, because we cut to her posing on the bed in her slip and trying to be sexy. And the nervous first date energy was so strong that is like, have these two met before? Like, do they know each other?
She later says they haven't had sex in 6 months, something like that.
I think so. Yeah. No, she's doing a great job of just being
she's trying
uncomfortable, but like wanting this to work.
We understand that it was not immediately comfortable with this whole idea, that it's something she agreed to try. She doesn't quite understand what she agreed to try. So yeah, I get that nervous energy of doing this to save our marriage.
But it's taken to such an extreme when you're so nervous that you can't go, Gerald, close the fucking door, the front door of your house. Maybe it is part of, because like in the book, you can understand that the door just swings open, but I imagine kind of their whole lake house more rustic than it appears.
It's a mansion.
It is.
Movie. It's beautiful.
And I imagined it beautiful, but like being an older, just like lake house, nothing like super fancy. But yeah, this one, it is just Gerald's like, okay, time to go, and drags her into the house. And there's this second of her looking back over her shoulder and like kind of gasping, like, with the door, we have to, but then she just goes in. I'm like, what are you both are idiots. What's wrong with you?
In his
Close
defense,
your front door.
He'd already taken his boner medication. So that's all I could think about. I think that's how it works.
Viagra, it opens doors.
Hey!
Like, unless it's part of it, I guess. But then why are you at a remote lake house? Mixed ideas.
It was just about this point we discussed this reveal of him walking around the corner, seeing her in the slip. She gets up on the bed and they start making out. And at this point, CM, you let us know that this would be a really hard movie to be in. Yeah,
because all of the takes of making out and like bringing that kind of nervous energy would be so difficult to do over, and it has to take a lot out of you.
I mean, any high emotion acting definitely is draining after a while, trying to recreate that energy over and over. This is a good time to talk about Gerald's underwear. Let's just take a moment to talk about Hot Gerald. So I think it's very clever, the underwear they use for Gerald, because it is, as somebody who has spent over 10 years of his career on stage in his underwear, it's sometimes easy for you to see the peen. And they chose a very like black very matte, dark
It was
black
almost
underwear.
concave.
There was the overhead angle after he dies. For a split second, my eyes saw a black sensor bar just over a naked butt. Is what my brain filled in. What I'm saying is they're void black.
Okay.
Yeah,
the question
Vanta
then,
black
Yes,
shorts.
exactly.
should they have had the boner?
Yes.
I need to ask Josh, percentage wise, how much of this movie did you think about Hot Gerald's dick? Because you did at the point when he takes the Viagra, you go, we should have seen his boner by now. If it was the book, we would have seen his boner by now.
Because that's important in the book, is that the moment she is like helpless, she keeps. And then as they argue, he gets even harder.
I'm
and she's like,
real
this
glad.
should.
That would be a lot for a movie.
I'm just trying to balance out media like you and CM often say, we need more penis.
Yeah, I do see that
Yeah.
sometimes.
Listen, a little penis goes a long way. It's what I've always said.
You hear that? You hear that, listeners? Whatever you got, it's good.
Oh, no.
Oh.
We do it to ourselves. We do it to ourselves.
Then we should mention that
Do it.
Gerald is played by Bruce Greenwood, who we've seen in tons of awesome
Tons of stuff.
He's been on Star Trek.
It's true.
That's
And
all I'm
a
gonna mention.
handsome man.
Yeah.
And he
Hot Gerald
honestly-
is what we started to call him.
Too hot.
disagree.
I think he's extremely good. I think his performance is excellent. I think he's a little too hot for me.
Yeah.
I think
You
I
know
wanted
what,
Gerald to be
though?
like kind of weird
Slimier.
looking.
But we spend the rest of the movie with him, unlike in the book.
Yeah, but
so
like
it makes it easier to watch.
no, I wanted because I don't know. He's
Yeah.
so handsome.
And for me, it had to offset his terrible personality. You had to be
Fair.
willing for Jesse to. We don't understand. Those of us who read the book do. Those of us experiencing this for the first time don't understand how pressured Jesse can get. So at first, she seems like somebody who stands up for herself, who would have that confidence. But the moment she tries, she gets slammed down by Gerald.
I don't know. I guess I imagined Gerald to look more like the guy that plays her dad in this movie.
Okay, yeah.
And I think when I read the book, I think I imagined Gerald to look more like him, where like a normal dude, but like
Not a silver fox.
yeah. And then I was like, well, who did I imagine her dad like Gerald? And I definitely didn't. I think I just imagined her dad as like a blank silhouette.
Yes. Yeah, I could not picture. My brain didn't want to put a face to that.
Yeah.
Weird. I hadn't thought about it, but I just tried to picture what I imagined
Yeah.
her dad looking like in the book, and I can't do it.
Me
It's
neither.
just like evil shape.
As I pointed out, the energy when Gerald brings out the cuffs is alarming because
She looks like she's about to have a panic attack.
yeah,
Mhm.
and she even says, "I thought it would be like ropes or velvets again."
Like
So
cheap stuff.
yeah. And he just casually drops, "Yeah, but you can rip those if you pull too hard."
But that's good.
Yep. And this,
Which happens later on. Not by Jesse, but is that a parallel? That's weird that happens later on.
what?
Someone pulls too hard and breaks handcuffs.
That's true. Yeah. That's
yeah, but
funny.
he's like 8 feet tall.
That's true. Anyway.
This in the book, the argument and everything that leads to the kick, the heart attack, felt really rapid to me. This felt like it took its time a little bit more because it lets us sit in the uncomfortable rape roleplay fantasy that he springs on her with no regard. The first moment when he tries to playfully say, "Yell for help, it'll be fun," and does not read the fact that she doesn't want to do that.
No, he's not paying attention to her at all. He doesn't see her.
How effective was it at making it the moment uncomfortable for you both?
if every moment in this movie is uncomfortable in a
Yes.
very effective way.
Yes.
Yeah, because it could easily tip the scale into being too hard to watch.
Well, I like too that like in the book he has a heart attack while he's definitely being a rapist,
Mhm.
and in the movie it's feels more like what their marriage probably is
Yes.
like all the time, rather than all of a sudden he's this
Mhm.
bad guy who's going to rape her, because he kind of comes back a little bit, and then they're just sort of having a bit of an argument about their relationship as a
Yeah.
whole, and she keeps telling him throughout like uncuff me, and he's not listening to her. He's just complaining about how she's making
Yeah.
him feel.
She says this won't save us.
Mhm.
It's essay in movies and TV is always really difficult, but I feel like this is done about as I don't know, air quotes, tastefully as
Yeah.
possible,
Yeah. Mhm.
given the subject matter
Yeah.
of the movie. It is difficult to watch, but I can't help but think about watching fucking Big Driver. And
Oh
like,
boy.
I haven't seen that.
yeah, that's fair. I'm going to join you in that belief. Big
We
Driver.
watched it. We watched it
watched it.
together.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh.
I thought you were
Why'd
doing
do
a
this to
bit.
me?
Oh,
Why'd you make me remember?
we should have let her live there.
I'm so sorry. You have to remember you'll never get out of the handcuffs.
I feel like I probably mentioned Gerald's game talking about
Probably.
Big Driver, the movie.
But like
yeah.
that is on the one end of the spectrum of like
Mhm.
this is exploitative garbage,
Mhm.
and this is dealing with a difficult.
It's about
subject
the
matter.
horror of what this is leading
Yes.
into, not about necessarily all of that subject matter.
When Gerald has his heart attack and dies on top of her, she props him up with her feet, and his eyes are glazed over, and she's yelling at him to wake up.
That made me feel
Oh,
it. That made
yeah.
me feel his death the way I didn't in the book.
Mhm.
I like this change.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I imagine like, oh my God, how would you feel if you did that and you see your partner slack, like they're dead? That would be so horrible.
Yeah, you can't not know if someone has had a heart attack and died when they land on top of you.
Mhm.
That I was ready to roll my eyes at this
Mhm.
because I may have been yelling, "Kick him to death."
You did.
Um,
You did, yeah.
We
and
all
then
wanted it.
They start having this, yeah, like you said, they just start talking about their relationship, and I almost when I was still waiting for the kick to happen, and as they're having this conversation, without bringing attention to it, Gerald just starts rubbing his shoulder
Yeah.
Mhm.
and his chest.
He
And
gets
I'm
an
like,
expression.
I'm like,
They're very
that's
subtle.
such
Yeah.
a good moment.
Yeah.
That is such good filmmaking to put that and not draw attention to it. And now she's gonna kick him, and it's gonna set it off. And then that doesn't happen. He's just like a second later is like "Ugh," and dies.
I thought that worked really
But I
well.
liked it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because when
It felt more natural, like what would their relationship probably was.
yeah, 1,000%. And the way she rolls him off the bed and
And thunks
yeah,
when he hits the
ugh.
ground.
Well, and Stephen King was one of the screenwriters on this
Oh,
too,
really?
and he enjoyed the movie.
Cool.
I understand why.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah, all the changes that were made were awesome.
Yeah. Let's talk about the representation of Jesse's madness,
So
because
good.
there is this moment where she sees Gerald laying on the floor, and then Gerald's hand comes up and he pulls himself up.
It's after the first bite.
Yeah.
It is
Yeah.
it is an earned jump scare. I love that. And I also, so watching this right after reading the book was different for me, because I watched this many years
Mhm.
apart from reading it. And as I knew, like I was hooked. I'm like, this is great. Because we just came off the book, everything that Gerald said, because he's basically Goody,
Yeah.
Yep.
it made me understand that more this time, which I kind
Yes.
of feel stupid saying, but it's like, oh, he's not saying the things that Gerald would say. He's saying the things that she thinks Gerald would say. This is her version of him, using that to guide herself.
See, I love this change because, yeah, you're exactly right. Gerald is Goody. He's playing that role of like, this is a bad idea. You need to just like,
Mhm.
I think making that voice that is telling her to do things that are holding her back from the actual solution and putting those words in Gerald's mouth is so clever. And then, so we should describe how it's done, because she's in bed. Prince comes in, which great dog Foley, as Prince comes in and takes a bite out of Gerald's wrist. And that is when he stands up.
And he's like, damn it, that
and he's
hurt.
like, ow, yeah, look at my wrist. This sucks. And she's like having a conversation. And then the camera does a 180 and we see her in bed, him walking toward the door and also on the floor dead.
It's so good.
It's so well done. And when throughout the movie, the shots where it's them looking directly down the camera, when they're like talking really directly to each other, characters get these like very close-ups on their face, and the back and forth of her in bed just staring at him as he's like, you're losing your mind, hun.
The way that these shots are put together,
and
works
Carla
so
Gugino's
well.
face, how well she's pulling the like
All the emotion.
vacant, like overwhelmed, not really there look. It's so good.
I like too the change, because we don't have all of the voices. We have Goody, who is now Gerald, who is her, and we also have her
and
her Ruth.
her Ruth, but it's her.
And how that's introduced, because she's just like, fuck you, Gerald, I'm out of here. Because she's pulling on her wrist, right? And he's like, you can't do that. And she's like, fuck, I can't. And then pops out and gets out of bed. And she's like, easy as that. And then it does the exact same camera movement where it cuts back and she's laying in bed. But then she just sticks around.
Well, because and that's when I realized, like, oh, she's talking to him about her idea, and the other her is acting that out. It's like, you don't like get all those beats reading it the same way. Like, this is way cooler visually than I anticipated.
The film language.
Yes. They picked the perfect way to show this story.
It's so good. And also I love that, like, the way that she creates the voice that ends up saving her is the version of herself in her head that's like, fuck this, I'm out. I got out immediately. Listen to me. The moment later on, at like a half an hour from now, when Jessie is talking to Gerald and there's just a quick cut to other Jessie and she goes, why are you still listening to him? So good.
And they talk to each other. Her voices of Gerald and Jessie, it's cool. They kind of argue, they bicker the way I imagined they bicker.
It's such a good way to show something that is entirely internal. All of her internal dialogue, turning it into external dialogue.
Like she gets
it's so
to confront him too about some things that she suspected, both through her Ruth Jessie voice and through him challenging her by pointing out, like, all the weekends I was gone on business meetings, all the late nights. You never suspected anything.
You knew. Yeah. Another great moment is watching the light vanish from the room. The passages of time are really well done. And I will say the first big jump I had was her getting the water. Because it's one thing to read about that, but watching it is very, very tense.
Yes.
And this is the moment where we, in the book, memory is so important to this story. It is constantly trying to get her to go back to this moment where she is going to find out the thing that's going to save her. And one of the things I didn't like in the book is that she goes through remembering the day, but the important life-saving detail was before all of that day. But before that, I really liked that the movie takes the lesson she needs is linear through the day. She has to go through it to get to that moment.
Yeah, I didn't think about that. That's cool.
And the way we start to build this is the Ruth voice, Ruth Jessie says, they talk about the Viagra.
Ruth's Jessie's steakhouse.
they talk about, Gerald mentions the Viagra and about how he, was at first hiding it and then made sure she saw it so that he didn't have to hide it, blah, blah. And Jesse cuts in and it says, yeah, but we're really glad he has those pills. And then it's, why am I glad he has these pills? And then Jesse and Gerald reenact him taking the pill, what he did with it, and that leads us. So I really, really thought the memory use was so clever.
Yeah.
That was right around the time
I think that's when you
that
said
I was like,
this is-
I think this is like it was the first time that she's like, they're arguing, and it's the first time where she closes her eyes and opens and she's alone. And I'm like, this is a good movie. This is really, really good.
Are you going to watch it 6 more times?
No. No. That was a brief bout of insanity and will not be repeated.
But we'll get a new bout of insanity sometime later.
That's almost certainly true.
Who wants to share their feelings about the debut of the Space Cowboy and how that's done here?
I was like, oh wow, that guy looks like the giant from Twin Peaks.
It is.
And it is because
Star Trek as well.
Adam's Family.
Realize at the time that this movie was made back in 2017.
Yeah.
If you would have asked, I would have been like, yeah, this came out in like 2020 or something. But I know that he has passed away, I believe.
I think so.
didn't-
I think you're
oh,
right.
okay.
So that's why I was like, oh, it can't be that guy. It is. And holy hell, every scene with him in the house is perfect.
It's so scary.
Mike Flanagan fucking gets it. It is her, she wakes up, it is dark, and she scans the room, and it is just a slow sweep of the room. And I am like waiting for, obviously we're waiting for it. And we're like, oh, he's just going to be there in a corner. And he's not. And it just keeps going. And I was so tense this entire time.
It's like looking
Did you
for
see his
secret
shoulder?
ghosts from Hill House.
The shot that is,
I still haven't watched Hill House.
Oh,
I need
God.
to.
that's a Patreon watch
Yeah.
right there. The angle that is from the corner's perspective of her in the room, in the bottom corner, you can just see the slope of a shoulder up to a head
shit.
that blocks part of the bed. It's so subtle,
Oh.
but yeah, it's
Huh.
real good.
Either way, the shot of the corner that he is standing in is so done so perfectly. It has to be his effects people have to be the people that really deserve the credit for this, because the way it is lit, the way it has to be CGI, because the way he literally dissolves out of the shadows
It's so cool.
is so unnatural and so scary. And when she closes her eyes and opens them and he's more there,
Yeah.
Yeah.
He looks the part.
Mhm.
He's just this huge, imposing figure over her and very pale, and opens his case.
Luckily, she closes her eyes to make him not there anymore because he's not real. But Gerald pops back up and calls her mouse, which she has a big reaction to. And now we're going to go back in time. She flips out about him calling her mouse. And then we have the discussion about adrenaline and how she's not going to be able to stay awake.
This is also where we get a lot of the who knows what people see in their lonely deaths.
Yeah, that speech
stuff,
is so good.
which was one of my favorite parts of the book.
The fight, overhearing the parents fight, much more mild this time.
Yeah, we didn't do you treat her like she's your girlfriend sometime.
Yeah.
But she did basically call her a brat
Yeah.
and say, essentially, I'd rather she doesn't come anyway. She'll just ruin my day.
And something, I don't know if it was the intentional choice or not, but making the mom very pregnant at the time, I thought was a way to soften the attitude of the mom. I wondered, because my wife is very pregnant.
It's true.
And can be real mean when she is uncomfortable and
Josh, I'm gonna cut
has
this.
don't leave it in. Leave it in.
It's
She
a
only
cry
listens.
for help.
She only listens to episodes that she's read or watched, and she will not read or watch this.
That's fair.
So I have no fear. Also, I tell her all the time when she says something mean when she's pregnant.
You're mean.
You're brave.
You both know my wife.
Yes.
Her saying mean things is hilarious because it doesn't happen a lot. But yeah, I thought that was an extra protected layer of
Yeah.
course mom is overwhelmed and distracted. She
Yeah.
has the other kids. She's pregnant. She's uncomfortable out all the on a boat. And now she's going to be alone with the kids on the boat because they're back here.
Made her more
Oh,
sympathetic.
a little bit.
I was going to say they kind of cut a lot of the stuff that makes the female characters of the story, makes you question whether that. So they cut out Jesse kicking Gerald to death because in the context of a movie as opposed to a whole novel, we just don't have time to go over her feelings of guilt,
Sure.
I think.
That makes sense.
And I feel like we're already dealing with a lot of heavy emotions in this movie, which is a much shorter, more concentrated experience than a book. So like maybe we don't need to add on the complicated feelings of the mother being
Sure.
complicit or whatever.
Or blaming Jesse.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the eclipse.
Duh.
Why did it have to be the dad? Why did it have to be? I'm sorry, the dad
the actor
from
From A Haunting of Hill House.
Yes.
Yeah.
Guys, that's who it is. And you don't want to see that. It's the guy, he played the little boy in E.T.
I think it's a smart call. Like, have either of you seen Promising Young Woman?
No.
I have not yet because I know that's
You-
another one
you
that
don't
I'm
want
like,
it, yeah.
I
You don't
know
want
I
it
gotta be
spoiled,
in the
You don't. Yeah.
I need to be in the right mindset to watch this.
But one of the clever things that was done was casting against type.
yeah.
They cast actors who were notoriously presented as this kind of person and had them play
Right.
something opposite.
No, it is
Yeah.
very effective. It
And
just makes me mad.
He had, because that actor has a very cherubic, sincere.
You want to trust him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He seems like a nice
he looks
dad.
safe.
Yeah.
He looks like a dork.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to have trouble going back and watching Hill House he's in
Oh, yeah.
because just knowing this dude is playing the character he is playing, the second there is that jump cut, the first jump cut to her childhood, and you see him and he calls her mouse, immediately I was like, this man is loathsome to me.
Yeah.
His face is just I am filled with disgust, which
it
is not
churns.
the man's
But-
face. The actor's face is fine. He does
such
a good job.
So
yeah.
good.
It's a good performance.
He comes off, you're just so grossed out. Devin,
Oh my God,
Devin
the
joined
scene
us.
in the bedroom.
This is when our Taco Bell arrived. And
Saved by the Bell.
Devin joined us, and I was like trying to eat, and we're all just sort of, we are literally just all kind of like
Grimacing.
squirming in our seats, like, man, we don't want to watch this. And even Devin is like, I looked over and he's grimacing. Yeah, we see the scene play out. It's not as graphic as it is in the book,
That's obvious,
which is
thank
nice,
God.
except you have to see it with your eyeballs, which
Yes.
is,
Sucks.
so it doesn't need to be more graphic because we're there. We got it.
Real quick, the girl who plays young Jessie
Mhm.
is the lead in the first season of Cruel Summer, which is a show on Hulu. I've dropped it. I've name checked it on this show
yes.
before.
Okay.
It's so fucking good. That
Huh.
girl is so fucking talented.
Awesome.
I hope she gets to be in a ton more stuff. But I'd forgot that this movie was the first time I'd ever seen her because I saw it when it just came out. After we experience the eclipse, we come back to the room and we get what I wasn't sure we were going to get at first and forgot that we do. We get the Dolores Claiborne tie-in.
Yeah.
Insane that this speech
And
is in this movie.
And he found a way to make it mean something
Oh, it's
to
great.
her struggle. It's so good.
It's not
Who wants to take us
shoehorned
through
in.
it?
No, it's so good because like you don't need to know anything about Dolores Claiborne because she's just like, I had a dream the next night that I was at the bottom of a well and I was looking up and there was a woman in a red dress and the sky was so dark behind her. And what was in the well, secrets, and the it is so obviously Mike Flanagan's book report. Because he does what, like, I feel like we tried to do in last episode or 2 episodes ago when we talked about this connection of trying to be like, okay, well, what is thematically, what is this trying to say? What is the connection between these two? Because, you know, it was the difference being Dolores is lying to protect her daughter. That whole conversation.
We kind of landed on a mother acting when she suspected versus a mother who possibly didn't know or didn't act, and what these girls' lives would have been. Yes,
and Mike Flanagan adds to that that, like, what is the thing that connects these two is Jesse trying to emulate Dolores's silence,
because she's like, this woman will never tell.
She would rather die than tell, and I can do that. And that makes it these 2 books being the difference between why you're not telling. Dolores is, I am not telling to keep someone safe, and Jesse is, I am not telling, and it is poisonous. You know, it's
I want to know, like, I want to be a fly on the wall, and I want to be in the meeting where all the screenwriters, including Flanagan and King, and I think there's one more, are talking about this and, like, deciding how to make it work. Like, whose idea was so this? Good. Like, was it just the magic of them coming together?
What definitely is magic. This whole movie fucking rules. What doesn't rule is the grooming scene that comes next. I do like that it's the same 1-2 punch as the book.
Yeah.
Because I had that same reaction when she's like, it wasn't about that. It was what he did to you in the bedroom later. And there's that hanging pause.
Well, because the Gerald part of her is like,
which I find interesting.
Like, why? I don't know anything about you.
Right. It's really smart because it's not played tongue in cheek either. Because we know another moment, we didn't talk about it earlier, but there's a scene when it's just her and Gerald initially where they are talking to each other but saying the same sentence. Like they're finishing each other's sentences because it's the exact same train of thought.
Yeah.
And it's really clever. It's really rapid. They don't draw attention to it. It's just very cool. And this is using that in a different way where initially I thought Gerald might be, like I said, tongue-in-cheek about it because this Gerald does know because this Gerald is Jesse. But he's pretending he doesn't know for the sake of this. So, and I'm glad they didn't make that choice. I'm glad they kept it sincere. Because it also blurs the line of Jesse forgetting he's not really Gerald.
Well, and also she's not being honest about what happened yet. Like, she's not really remembering.
So we get the rest of the scene, which ends with her dad leaving the room and Jesse lays down on the bed, arms stretched out, like we saw adult Jesse on the bed before the handcuffs.
Oh, and when the scene started, we saw child Jesse laying, we had the overhead bed shot. That's what I was talking about at the start of the episode. We see her laying her too short sundress out on the bed.
The acting in that scene, I want to move past it, but like this was the other scene that I'm like, the dude playing her dad is a very talented actor, and also I want to rip his fucking throat out because the shit-eating look on his face as he's like walking through the whole it's disgusting.
I also really like at the end where it jumps to Jesse in real life, basically passed out in the cuffs.
Yeah.
Mumbling.
And I like that they keep in the part where she realizes, when he was lying to me, he was looking me in the face. And when he finally broke down and was like, that was so shameful, he couldn't look at me.
This sequence, leaving young Jesse's bedroom, is another very effective jump scare because we see Jesse looking at the ceiling and then we hear the sound of a tongue.
Oh my good Christ. I forgot about this, motherfucker. What the fuck?
You know what? You didn't watch the later what the fuck scene, so I'm glad that you looked up for this.
This fucked me up.
The first time I saw this, this scene alone destroyed my brain. It's horrible.
It is
scary.
the worst thing in the movie.
So fucking
It is her in memory, so still a child on the bed, and you hear noise, and she looks up, and it cuts to her feet with the Moonlight Man just fucking going to town.
Slipping them piggies.
I hate
Oh my
this.
god, it's so fucking scary.
It was one of the two scenes that I think all of us just started hollering.
We did collectively
Yeah,
scream.
we did.
Fortunately, it's not the Moonlight Man. It is Prince. And he's not just licking, he is trying to pull her off the bed.
Mm-hmm. He bites her foot.
Oh, is this where we see her like wake up and her wrists and hands are all like black and blue?
She, at this point, has a conversation with Gerald about Prince is going to keep trying and eventually you won't be strong enough to fight him off because you're fresh.
Fresh meat.
And she says, I'm going to die. And he says, everything dies. All things serve the beam. You said it. You did the thing.
I love it.
I'm gonna be unpopular here.
No, it stands out, but I love it.
It annoyed me.
Yeah.
It annoyed me. It is it's the Dolores Claiborne thing. Awesome. So good. That's how you do fan service because it's still paid service to the story that we are talking about. All things serve the beam. The only thing I could think of is I'm like, well, in the world of this movie, the Dark Tower exists, and Gerald really likes the Dark Tower books. That's the only reason he would have said that.
A big Flanagan thing is other Easter eggs, like because obviously he's doing the Dark Tower now, which is great. But the Midnight Mass at the time
she
was
throws
his
a copy
next
of Midnight
project.
Mass.
There's another nod to another one of his projects in there, but
I don't
he's
know.
notorious for hiding.
Would it bother if you
It's
didn't
fine.
know that expression?
Well, if I didn't know the
would you
expression,
have
I would
been-
just be like, what the fuck does that mean? Because if you don't know the expression, it's meaningless.
That's what I was asking. Would you have? Because I feel like some people probably would have just been like, "Oh, I don't get what that's in reference to," or made up something like, "Oh, he must be talking about."
Yeah, I guess it
some
might
weird
work
death thing.
as because Jessie is going insane throughout this scene. She's singing what Bring Around the Rosie,
Hush Little Baby, for a very important reason.
And yeah, I don't know. It was just slightly too fan servicey for
Yeah,
me.
I got it.
What she's singing, the important thing is as she's singing Hush Little Baby through several verses, Gerald is talking to her about that she's going to die, basically. And she closes on Looking Glass. Glass is the last thing she sings about. And that's when we are transported to young Jesse's room at the lake.
And all of these scenes are the eclipse.
Yeah.
Everything's in red.
And
Yeah, the colors
Mouse,
are in the eclipse scenes are very cool.
they're badass. Mouse is sitting on the bed in handcuffs. And we talk about what happened after all this. The real thing she needs to remember to get through this. And what is that memory?
She starts it off really sadly by talking about how her dad would hardly ever look at her after that, and referencing how her mom treated her, which we know from the book. And Mouse keeps interrupting her, saying, yeah, that's not what I'm talking about. That crap isn't important. And I like it because they're kind of ignoring each other and talking over each other, because Jessie finally wants to say all the things to like release this. Like, yeah, this was shitty. This wasn't my fault. She talks about having to protect her younger sister.
Yeah.
Which
Because her sister
that's
was
devastating.
older, I think, in the book.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was horrible because she's like, I had to become an outsider in my own family, and I couldn't just be a kid. And so Mouse reminds her, like, she basically takes her to this dining room dinner scene that same night. Her mom and siblings are back, and Jessie's just sitting at the table, like, got her hair kind of hanging in her face, not eating. Everyone else is eating. And I can't remember what makes her squeeze it so
her
hard.
dad gets up and goes and touches her mom's pregnant stomach.
Yes, and Jessie has a drinking glass in her hand, and she crushes it. Okay, this fucked me up because she's got a shard of glass in her palm, and her dad goes over right away, and her mom's like startled and like, oh my God, are you okay? And he's dragging her off to the bathroom to clean her up.
The lights fading.
And she looks back, like slow motion almost, and turns and makes eye contact with her mom. And the look on the little girl's face and the registering, that's not a look I've seen on my daughter's face before of the mom.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden, all the lights just go black until you can't see the family anymore. It's so effective, so emotional.
And upsetting that in this moment where she has done something to hurt herself, that she is drug away by her father to be alone in a room. Like
the whole next scene of him wrapping her hand was just not that we had to watch it often, it was like, this is it, but having to see them together at any point would just feel unsafe.
Yeah. So let's get to the escape.
Jesus Christ.
Devin's going to ask me later, were you guys screaming at this part? The living room erupted. We didn't stop screaming for probably 60 solid seconds.
However long the scene takes is how long we scream.
As it was happening, I was
looking.
like, okay, here's the scene that Eve will not be watching. I will be turning, and I turned, and I kept fucking glancing back. I'd be like,
but
okay.
Didn't you see how horrified we looked?
You two would have a big reaction.
Is that why you
and
looked?
I would go, beat. Okay, I can look now, certainly. Oh, they just reacted like they saw the worst thing in the world. Now it's safe to look. And that was not true 2 or 3 times.
The way that Jessie thought that she was experiencing the worst pain in the world, and then later is like, oh no, this is the worst pain in the world.
Oh my God.
That's what it's like watching this scene. Because we watch her first break the glass. It's very tense getting it. And then she shoves the piece of glass
into the
shelf.
So she can have a stable base to cut her hand and wrist, and does it, and then pulls her hand through, and the effects on this, the practical effects, really amazing. Great job, you guys.
We
screamed so long.
Looking back and seeing just the entire pad of the palm of her hand separated from.
We were reacting to watching that happen.
Nope. Don't like it. I will say before before this scene, I love, maybe one of my favorite reactions or interactions in the movie is the build up to this.
Yeah.
Just between Jessie and herself.
Yeah.
As the other Jessie, who is obviously pristine, like gorgeous hair, perfect makeup, like absolutely gorgeous. And she's like, when it comes back from the flashback and it goes to other Jessie and she just goes, it's gonna hurt like a motherfucker. I was like, oh my God, that's so good. And the look on her face in the bed as she's all disheveled and like she's gone through all of this, where she's just like, and the other Jessie saying when she says, if you got too deep, and it cuts back to her in the bed and she goes, it won't matter. And it's like the play between the two of the her and herself is so good. It's what a good scene. I hated it.
So she slips the cuff, unlocks herself, and before she can make it to the door, Prince, who's been patiently watching this whole thing, gets on his hackles, starts barking, and then runs out of the house.
Oh, he runs into the bathroom.
Oh, runs into the bathroom, that's right.
Because he can't, the way is blocked.
And How would you describe that look down the hall?
I thought this was scary on both counts, honestly.
Unbelievably
because,
scary.
Yes, he is standing in front of the doorway for her to leave. She's got the keys, and the light is still bright, but he's not close enough. You just can't really tell what you're looking at. And she's stumbling towards him with her maxi pad wrapped hand, looking crazy.
Girl power.
Yep. Watching her take her wedding ring off, she's stumbling up to him going, "You're not real. You're made of moonlight." And she takes her wedding ring off and she hands it to him, and he just sort of like looks at it and looks at her. Doesn't chase her.
I don't know how this will sound. Some people might think that this sounds dismissive, but I mean this with the utmost respect. It reminded me of a really, really good haunted house room.
Yeah.
Because
absolutely,
I love haunted houses. One of my favorite things in the world. And the scariest thing a haunted house can do is put someone just far enough away that you know they're there.
Mm-hmm.
That's so scary to me. So good.
Yep, she pays the toll, dropping her ring, and then she gets out to the car and speeds away. But the amazing drifting in and out, she's lost a lot of blood. She looks in the mirror, and he's in there, and his eyeballs are the sun of the eclipse.
Mm-hmm.
It's so rad.
The way the whole car is glowing red.
Yeah.
And Mike Flanagan's eye stuff is one of my favorite things. Like the way he does the eyes of the vampires in Midnight Mass. Really good.
So she slams her car into a tree.
We all jumped when that happened too.
Yeah, that was.
Thank goodness that was a hard crash though, because the people who live nearby heard it.
Let's talk about the epilogue, because one of the things this did for me was it made her recovery hit way harder than the book did for me. Yeah.
Interesting.
It was seeing the way she would try to go to sleep every night.
Yeah.
And know it was there. The way it showed that every night it wasn't just that she had a hard time sleeping. She's curled up in a fetal position, sobbing.
Well, and that her daytime is so rich, and she started a foundation for
big
these
change.
girls and women. Yeah. Oh, but I'm sorry. I was saying it makes her nights feel that much more impactful because you see her otherwise having coped and having taken this horrible situation and turned it into something good.
But still has this horrible thing hovering over her.
Because it could still be a monster. The jump to 6 months of living this life, Raymond shows up in the newspaper, that all unfolds kind of the same way. No extra character from the firm that keeps it subtle. In fact, she walks right past cameras on the way to the arraignment. I do like that there was just a quick moment of her and Mouse, where Mouse tells her the arraignment's tomorrow, like the two of them kind of deciding to do this together.
She says we need to see the sun again because every time we're with them, it's on the beach house, on the lake house during the eclipse.
I think that actually, I do think it works, but it is one of the things that why I feel like this felt a little more tacked on.
Because that was all happening when she was under duress. And
well, also because we have lost Ruth. So when it goes into the epilogue and she's writing a letter,
like, who's she writing?
I'm immediately like, huh? Why are we writing a letter?
I do like that she's writing a letter to herself, which is a good technique to
that is
use
true.
in therapy.
And doesn't burden a person you haven't talked to in a long time with a lot of heavy secrets.
True.
Yeah.
I
guess I hadn't thought about Ruth receiving this letter. I guess that would be a bit of a curveball in your day.
That's the start to a different book.
Yeah.
But she shows up to the courthouse. It's a packed house, not this empty room like in the book. And she walks up, gets his attention.
I love that she's like, she says, hey, but it like barely comes out of her mouth, and then she steals herself. She's like, hey, and gets the whole courtroom's attention. It was just, I don't know why, something about that was just so powerful, because I guess you can feel how terrified, like you can feel, it looks like she's probably like shaking.
Yeah.
How did you feel about the big change at the end? Her revenge, so to speak.
I actually really liked this because I can't see that actor, the guy who plays Moonlight Man, and not see anything except like this kind giant, like a gentle giant. That's the vibe he gives off.
It's the exact same thought I had.
Yeah, so I was like, oh man, I don't want to watch her spit in his face. Like I want to in the character's face, yes, but there's something almost childlike about him, which I'm so sorry to say that. That makes me feel really horrible that I'm saying that.
The high-pitched voice.
Yeah,
that
maybe
he
that's
uses.
it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I always think that when there's like
I'm
a
just thinking
character
about
in a
the
movie.
actor.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Whenever a character in a movie is like particularly abused, and especially if it's like when there's a character in a movie who is in old comedies, like not comedies from the 90s, you'd get this a lot. Like when a character would be introduced to be made fun of for their looks, and you're like, that's an actor who actually
it makes me
looks
think of
like
the person
that.
who got this job because of their unique look.
Yes.
And I don't know, I want to be respectful.
Yeah, and I was definitely had the same thought. I'm like, I don't want to watch her spit in this guy's face. That's a real guy that she had to spit on. That would be terrible.
She has the best. I really think this is the best thing to say to him, because she walks right up to his face and just kind of goes, huh, you are so much smaller than I remembered. And as she's walking up to him, it goes from his face to her dad's face to Gerald's face. And she's confronting all of them and saying, you guys are small.
And the really cool part is that because like I alluded earlier that he snaps his wrist bindings. And so he is being wrestled by cops. And so they are like grabbing him, and they are noticeably smaller than he is. And so when she's walking up when she's walking up and it cuts back to him and it's her father's face, but he is still towering over these cops that are, I thought that was so
It was really
cool.
effective. Yeah.
So ratings. CM, you want to do your rating first?
Heck yeah. This movie is an amazing adaptation. I really can't complain about any part of it. I see your points about those like two minor things, Eve, but like if that's even the worst thing about the movie, yeah, it's insane. This is perfect. 5 out of 5 blue chambray shirts.
Eve?
When was the last time we watched? I don't remember the last time we watched a movie that I liked this much for the podcast. This was I was riveted the entire time. And y'all, I have unmedicated ADHD, so that doesn't happen a lot.
That's
and it's a great endorsement.
I've never seen you less on your phone during the movie.
Yeah.
Put it on the box.
Yeah.
Put it on the DVD box.
1,000% just like locked the fuck in. Great acting, writing, directing, taking something that is so difficult to read and making it a visual medium, which should make it more uncomfortable and does in ways, but still making it a movie that made me go, this isn't just a good adaptation. This isn't just a good Stephen King movie. This is a great movie.
Yeah.
And that makes me real happy. So 5 out of 5 blue chambray shirts.
This movie, as I said earlier, was the moment I knew Mike Flanagan understood how to do Stephen King. It's the tone is perfect. The pace keeps moving, which in a story like this, pace decides between failure and success, I think. It hits on every single cylinder. 5 out of 5 blue chambray shirts.
And that is it for this episode of Derry Public Radio. As always, thank you for listening. Join us for our next episode, where we will be covering another short story from Skeleton Crew, Cain Rose Up. For Joshua Kahn and Eve Gatto, I'm CM Alexander reminding you, you're so much smaller than I remember. everyone, thank you for listening to Gerald's Game Part 3. We hope you enjoyed it. As always, please let us know your thoughts on social media. Search Derry Public Radio on your preferred platform. You can also send us an email at derrypublicradio@gmail.com. We love to hear from you. And if you enjoyed our episode, please rate and review us on whatever app you are listening to. It really does help us out, and we sincerely appreciate it. Don't forget to check out our Patreon page for bonus episodes, live streams, and more. Patreon.com/DerryPublicRadio, and our Etsy store for merchandise, Etsy.com/DerryPublicRadio. That's all for now, listeners. Goodbye.